There's no doubt in my mind that you did this.
Did what?
Watching your reactions, the way you talk, your body language and your posture and the things you say, they tell me a whole lot of things.
This is Dennis Oland, being interrogated for the death of his father. He came in voluntarily, without a lawyer. He is composed and genuinely believes he is here to help. What he doesn't know is that the detectives sitting across from him stopped looking for answers the moment he walked through the door. To them, the prime suspect is already in the room. To understand how a millionaire's son ends up in that chair, you have to go back to the beginning. Richard Oland was a Canadian business titan. His family name was royalty in New Brunswick, backed by a net worth of $37 million. He gave to charities and lived the ultimate dream. But behind closed doors, he ruled his family with a suffocating grip. He kept his wife of 46 years on a strict monthly budget, demanding receipts for every purchase she makes. Meanwhile, he was quietly funding a secret, parallel life with a mistress. Dennis was his only son. Richard believed a father should never be friends with his child, creating a relationship built entirely on cold transactions. 43-year-old Dennis owed his father $500,000 to survive a messy divorce. Despite this suffocating debt, Dennis stood to inherit nothing immediately if Richard died. The money was willed to his mother. The police saw no direct financial payout, but they saw a lifetime of deep resentment. On the evening of July 6, 2011, Dennis drove to his father's office. He carried a bag of genealogical documents, one of the few safe topics they could discuss without fighting. Richard's assistant was there. She remembered a warm greeting, but she also noticed something odd. Dennis was wearing a heavy brown sports jacket, an unusual choice for the summer heat. She left them alone at 5:45 p.m. Surveillance cameras caught Dennis leaving the building at 6:12 p.m. The next morning, Richard Oland was found face down in a pool of blood, struck 45 times. No murder weapon, no trail of blood leading out into the hallway. Richard's family came to the police station that same day. Dennis thought he was helping investigators piece together his father's final moments. He had no idea he was stepping into a trap. Before the interrogation begins, take a second to like this video and drop a comment with your prediction. How do you think this case will end? The interview begins with a classic tactic: rapport building. The detectives created disarmingly comfortable space, encouraging Dennis to open up about his tense family dynamic.
A little bit,
Okay.
and I just wanted to get an idea of, of what you can offer me, because of course we're looking into everything, talking to everybody about this, and any little bit helps. And any information that you have or that you can lend is certainly going to assist us. And so I guess just if you have anything on your mind right now about the events, certainly just go ahead and we'll talk here.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing that's on my mind is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be something that's not. It's pretty clear in my head that he didn't have a heart attack and die. Something's happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing that runs through your head is, is this one of those crackhead type things or whatever, where someone goes in and does that kind of thing, or like sort of being in the wrong place at the wrong time,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing, or some sort of, or maybe it is natural and it's a drug reaction, but it just doesn't, some sort of a drug intake reaction, but it just, I don't know, just doesn't smell like that's what's going on. So
Right.
your mind's just racing. It's like, this just seems really it's just troubling, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as far as anything I have to offer, You know, I mean, he's a healthy guy.
Mhm.
I mean, the guy sails like crazy. He up until last year, I think he used to ski 40 days a year.
Is
That
that
was
right?
his goal.
Uh-huh.
You know, for a guy 69 years old. I mean, you know, people go to Sugarloaf with
impressive.
him and they can't keep up.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it's starting to show a little bit. He goes to bed a little earlier, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But you know, I mean, his health is great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, was he the easiest guy in the world to get along with? No,
Mm-hmm.
but not to the point where, you know, someone would, you know, who knew him would want to do something to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. I mean, I think most people would say, okay, yeah, he's hard to get along with, but he was never, you know, he was never violent. He was never totally, completely unreasonable that you couldn't sort of go, okay, well, you know, that maybe didn't entirely make sense, but I mean,
Right.
you know, knowing him as long as we all have, you know a person's character, and
Sure.
you know when to keep your distance, and,
Yes.
you know, that kind of thing. And,
Yeah.
and look, with him, it was a lot easier to keep your distance
Mhm.
because it just kept the peace,
Right.
and so.
How was your relationship with him? You know, from I guess when you were younger to now, and
Yeah, I would say that my relationship with my dad was probably perfect until, you know, I was a teenager.
Mhm.
And then, you know, my teenage years with him were very difficult.
Right.
I was the only son, so I think I took
Mhm.
most of the pressure.
Yes.
I think his upbringing was, you know, tougher than mine.
Mhm.
You know, his father was a military guy, and you know, grew up with that generation, and
Mhm.
living through the Depression and everything. His father wasn't easy on him, and my father suffered, you know, when he was younger from dyslexia, and
Mhm.
and you know, we could, certainly as a family could tell he had some sort of spectrum thing, you know, going on as he was older, and
Yes.
that would rear its ugly head at times, where
Mhm.
you would see somebody who, you know, was impatient and did have some, you know, sort of family social issues. I mean, my father and I weren't close father and son. I
Mhm.
mean, we, as I said, you know, in my teenage years, I mean, it was great when I could go off. I was a counselor at Camp Lumber, and I could go off
Right.
for the summer and I'd be gone.
Mhm.
And you know, I went to.
When did you work there? I was out there actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in there 95.
Okay, I was much earlier.
Okay.
1980, CIT
Okay.
in 1983.
Right.
I was done in 1987.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great spot out there.
Oh,
Good job.
wonderful! And my
Yeah.
kids go now, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know, that was, well, you know what it's all about. It's
Mhm.
a wonderful spot, and,
Yes.
and so I was there all summer, and it was great.
Mhm.
And you know, I was, you know, look, you just grew up in a family of really high expectations.
Yes.
And I think when you're an adult, you understand, and when you're a parent, you understand that, you know, those expectations, why they're there, and that kind of thing.
Right.
And you know, I was gone to university. I was gone, lived in Toronto for 5 or 6 years, or 4 or 5 years, and you know, moved back here. And you know, we would do some stuff together. You know, we would obviously always have family dinner things, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas, and
Yes.
some of those were not always pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would, again, you know, this is one of those things like you see in the movies. Everything is regimented.
Yes.
Okay, everything has to be perfect. Everything gets put down,
Okay.
and you're a waiter the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
and you're on your toes. And if something messes up, then you know
You're
he
to
just. And so it's those intense situations, which where everything has to be perfect, when he
Mhm.
can sort of, or you know, would, you know, it wouldn't go over well. But you know, this guy was somebody who he was a bit of a nut in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, if he was ever in a car, he could tell you how fast it would go, top
Right.
speed. And, you know, if he went skiing somewhere, he would ski and take us all down the steepest hills.
Yeah.
You know, we had an old 1970s four-wheel drive truck, and
Yeah.
that was everywhere. We had horses in the family, and we galloped across the river in the winter.
Yeah. Is that
You
right?
know, so you can imagine how exciting that was at the
Yes,
same time.
For sure.
And we do that. So you know, that was kind of a thing where we would, you know, having a common interest, and it was sort of the thing where we could have a conversation back and forth without it getting, heated or without it getting like that. I mean, but look, you know, we were in business together too. Well, not together. He's a client of mine.
Okay.
I'm his stockbroker, one of his stockbrokers, and have been for ever since I've been back here, so over 15 years.
Right.
And I manage a part of his investment portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we talk on the phone when he's home quite often, or you know, email conversations, text conversations, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The common link between the two of you, I guess, at this point, through your communications, is business or sailing, something like that.
Yeah, well, we don't sail together. It's funny. We've tried, and we just, you know, we did this when I was a teenager, and it went okay.
Yeah.
But he's just a real hard guy to be on a boat with, so we just stopped.
That should work, huh?
Well, it's no, he just barks and barks and barks,
Okay.
and you know, so we just stopped. It was just, it wasn't good for our relationship, so we just
Right.
didn't do it.
Okay.
You know, and we just agreed to disagree. Yeah.
So how have the last few years been? I know you said, you know, growing up in the teenage years and that sort of thing have been a little more, have they gotten better with you guys?
Well, I think it's when you're an adult and you have your own kids and you have your own life and you don't really see your father that much, it automatically gets better.
Yes.
You know, there's been occasion where we've had, you know, some phone sort of arguments, but there's been nothing. You know, there's that overall blanket that this guy is a really difficult person to get along with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you're a teenager, you wear it differently. Like, this guy's coming down on me. He's
Yes.
a jerk all the time. He's so hard on me.
Mm-hmm.
When you're my age, I can actually look at him and say, you know, it's not all his fault,
Mm-hmm.
because he had such a hard upbringing. He had, you know, his dyslexia, and you know, mom thinks he had this thing, Asperger's, which is sort of like it's almost like autism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this intensely intelligent person,
Mm-hmm.
but lacks certain social skills.
Yes.
You know, and that was his thing, where he could throw a lot of people off,
Mhm.
you know, including me and everybody else in the family. But you know, that worked to his advantage as well,
Right.
because he had no fear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, the biggest thing my father did for me, and it was a surprise, a very pleasant surprise, when I went through a divorce 3 or 4 years ago now, maybe 4 years ago, and it was a very bitter experience,
Yes.
and an experience where I was very likely going to lose my home.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a home that it's an old family home. It was owned by my
Right.
grandparents, been in the family for 70 years.
It's very
And
important.
there's a farm behind it, and he stepped up and said, look, that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you know, I don't believe my sisters, or I know my mother knows a little bit, but I don't think she knows, I don't think they know this, that
Mhm.
he basically bankrolled my whole divorce case,
Mm-hmm.
which ended up being $85,000. It was a
Mhm.
very lengthy divorce.
Yes.
And then, because I had to basically give half of my assets to my ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
he bankrolled that as well,
Okay.
so that I could keep my house.
Right.
So basically, I have a mortgage with him,
Mm-hmm.
which is an interest-only mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I pay $1,600 a month versus I was paying before like $2,500 a month, because I had to give up so much money.
Yes.
You know, I had to give him my farm, which was about $125,000, to him in exchange for some of this, but that was fine because, you know, the farm hasn't changed. Jacqueline, my sister, runs the farm, everything's so. You can imagine, you know, when you have this somewhat difficult relationship with your father, when the going gets tough,
Mm-hmm.
he stepped up.
Right.
You know, and I mean, that's very powerful stuff.
It showed you that even though your relationship may have been strained on the outside,
Right.
you're still a father deep down.
Exactly.
For sure.
You know, and that was fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
Are you still there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
So I've remarried with
Yeah.
Lisa, and she
Mhm.
has a son, so I have a stepson, and you know, my ex-wife lives in Renforth, and we live in Rossay, and you know, it would have been very different had he not, you know. And to his credit, he never threw it in my face.
Yes.
Like, he never let that hang over me.
Right.
And in our family, you know, you don't get given stuff. I mean, you know, we've had a very fortunate upbringing, okay?
Yes.
But there's there's been nothing, he doesn't go buy you things, he doesn't take you on
Right.
trips and spend the money. If you want to go on a trip, you pay your own way and we'll all have a good time.
Yes.
Not that that's happened, but I mean, the exception of when they all went last year, actually the only reason my wife and I didn't go was because we had already planned a trip ourselves, and
Okay.
we were asked to go, and we're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was just a bit of an eye opener almost. Like, okay, he's legit.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those guys that always said, like, if you ever get sick or one of your kids gets sick, we'll send them off somewhere and get the best care, and,
Mhm.
and we'll make sure that everything's good as we can do.
Right.
So, I mean, you talk to some people and say he was a ruthless bastard, and you talk to other people and say, yeah, but, he...
Had that shining light there.
Well,
that-
yeah,
that
I mean,
you saw, yeah.
and sometimes it was just quiet,
Mhm.
and maybe in the case of my sisters and mother not knowing as much is because, it's not really fair to help out one child over the other, and I
Right.
think his intention was always to make sure that he equalized that out, because,
Right.
at the end of the day, we were talking about, a loan of $500,000 or $600,000.
Mhm.
It was a lot of money,
Mhm.
and I was grateful for it.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
As anybody would be.
As anybody would. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Going back over the last few years, was there anything in your mind that would stick out as being unusual or different? Did your father ever bring anything up while talking that concerned you, maybe, or?
He personally, no. I mean, there is. I'm sure you've heard this already from the others. I mean, there is this family concern that he's had an affair,
Mhm.
was having an affair, or what have you. And my sister Lisa is sort of the one who's followed this whole thing for the last 2 or 3 years, and I think at first you turn a blind eye to it, and then I guess it's one of those things is if you don't see it happening and you're not aware it happens, you don't really know what to do.
Mhm.
And and this woman, I know of her a little bit. I don't think I've ever met her, but I know who she is. I mean, she works in the same real estate office as my ex-wife.
Okay.
And funny enough, when my ex-wife started to work in the real estate business in that office, one of her first introductions to this woman Diane was, your mother-in-law is an asshole or a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and my mother is just like, no one ever says that about her, right? Because
Right.
she just doesn't have that in her.
Mm-hmm.
And so as time passed, or more time passed, and Lisa was starting to, I don't know, she found a jar of Viagra.
This is your sister?
This is my sister,
Right. Okay.
and as far as I know, my parents haven't had sex for a long time,
Mhm.
so there's no need for the Viagra, whether
Mhm.
that is associated with her or him doing something with somebody else. I mean, look, this guy had a whole other life outside of his family because of all this sailing. And he's gone, this is probably an exaggeration, but he's gone 6 months out of the year. I mean, he's back and forth, but he could be gone for a month and then back for a
Right.
few weeks and then gone skiing or gone salmon fishing. or
Always
whatever.
doing something.
Yeah, so I mean, and I feel guilty right now of not sort of saying anything to my mother or about it, but I just didn't know if it was true or not. So I just sort of said, Lisa, this is your thing, and I'm just gonna say it. I did start to get concerned, and this is probably a year ago, that people might be finding out about this.
Mhm.
So I called. No, I didn't call. I was actually having a meeting with Bob McFadden because he really was helping out with all this divorce stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dad basically gave me Bob and said, he's an accountant, so he was really helpful.
Yes.
And I said to Bob, this is a story out there, and if it's true, you don't need to tell me. But if you know about it, you need to tell Dick that, people know,
Mm-hmm.
and that it should stop. And we never talked about it ever again.
It was never brought up ever?
Not
again?
with Bob, no.
No.
I mean, Lisa and I talked about it. I've had a brief conversation or two with Jacqueline. Jacqueline didn't really know until more recently, but when I asked her if she knew, she said, well, yeah, I've been hearing things, or whatever. I mean, in Lisa's case, she's at my parents' house a lot more,
Right.
so she would be receiving calls from this woman who would either laugh on the phone or hang up, or she would be seeing her, or supposedly seeing her around the street, sort of
Yes.
stalking, for lack of a better term, and I mean, this woman's reputation is a real kind of hot-blooded type of person. I mean, she called the house this morning, and I'm sure you heard that it must, lost her temper, or was not pleasant.
Didn't she called?
Well, she apparently had a meeting this morning with Maureen,
Okay.
and so she was out front of the building
Okay.
and wasn't being let in. Of course, the police was everywhere, so she called the house and
I see.
spoke to my mother and said, what's going on? And of course, my mother didn't know anything, so she, I think, told her off.
Your mother did?
No, Diane told
yeah.
my mother off, saying, you're, I don't know the exact words.
Yes.
You're being a bitch, and you know what's going on. You get to tell me what's going on. I think my mother hung up on her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was quite heated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, which led me to believe that maybe they've had other conversations. I don't know.
Could have.
But, anyways, that's.
So what was Bob's reaction when you brought that up to him? Just more or less, don't involve me in this?
He didn't say don't involve me. He just said duly noted.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like stone-faced.
Right.
He didn't say he wouldn't talk to him. He didn't say he would. He
And
just
that's the last you heard of it?
he just that was it. I mean, it was just, I think it was just mutually understood.
Mhm.
As guys can do very well. That
Yeah.
it was said, and if you choose to do something, do it. If you don't, then fine. And had I thought about doing it myself? Yeah, but I just well, Lisa ended up having a few conversations with him, or arguments or whatever. I think quite some time ago they were had a fight, and she spilled the beans that she assumed this was going on, or knew it was going on, or whatever, and that's sort of been. I don't think since then. I don't think they really talked a whole lot.
Right.
It just was. She just knew a whole lot more than the rest of us did, and she was convinced that this was a legit thing, and that he was a dirty pig, I guess, because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And those, you and your sisters talk.
Well, Lisa and I would talk about that. I mean, we didn't really have many conversations with Jacqueline about it,
Right.
Until, I probably had some conversations with her over the summer, last summer, or whenever Jacqueline sort of took over running the farm from a more detailed way.
Yeah.
So I was helping her because there was going to be a lease agreement between her and my father.
Mhm.
So I was helping her iron out the lease agreement.
Right.
And then so we would end up getting into these other conversations about, about my father's attitude. Like, Jacqueline, for example, has lupus, so she's not as able to have the same income that I or Lisa could have.
Mhm.
She had a bit of a disadvantage that way, and I don't know. You just sort of think that, Dick's got some money, he might help her out a little bit,
Mhm.
not a lot, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the farm itself is in some ways almost derelict, and he was trying to get an exorbitant amount of money out of her every month for rent, right? Which would not have made it a going concern.
Right.
So he was just heavy-handed, and so we sort of do our grumbling about it, and then I think it might have been then that I said or she might have said are you aware that of these rumors or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The detective strategy now shifts to the timeline. As the last person to see the victim alive, locking in his exact story is the ultimate goal. Watch as he confidently reconstructs his day, completely unaware that the seemingly mundane details he freely volunteers are building the very trap that will soon spring shut.
You want me to get into real specific detail, or?
Yeah, just whatever. Yeah.
It sort of paraphrases what I wrote down. I went over there. I'm thinking. I know I got there. I got there once, and I realized I forgot some stuff at the office. So I got back in my car to go back to the office, and then
What time did you get there the first time?
around 5:30, but before, well, it would have been 4 or 5:30, because I think the second time it was, well, I was there probably, Maureen left after I got there.
The first time?
No, the second time.
Okay.
So I didn't go in the office the first time. I went to
see.
the top of the stairs, and I might have used the bathroom, and then I left, and then came back. I went to go back to my office, but I don't have a key, and it was too late to go back in, so obviously it was after 5,
Right.
because everything gets shut down.
At your office?
Yeah.
At 5,
Yeah, they I don't know what time they lock the elevator, but you need one of those, same thing you guys have around here,
Yeah.
those little pass card things.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I went back and just said, oh, well, I have enough information, I have what he wanted. And went in, Maureen was there, she was obviously, getting ready to leave.
Mhm.
And we just, I got the logbook that my father had got from my uncle. It's this whole family logbook from a camp.
Mhm.
So I got that from Maureen, and because Dad had it for a year, and my uncle's down from Toronto, and he wanted it back. He was supposed to get it copied a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, so yeah, we basically went through the document, particularly the will, though. We went through it and sort of
Part
read
you
things.
found.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's interesting too, because this guy who died was owed £12,000. Back in those days, it'd be a lot of money.
Mhm.
But he didn't get the money because the guy who owed it to him died in a duel.
Okay.
So we were going through that whole scenario and reading things, and then getting to the John Oland stuff and why he was his son, and he's one of those people who's like, okay, you got to explain this to me again, because you got to feel it sink in, right?
Yeah, and understand.
Yeah,
the
and
whole
understand the whole
thing.
thing, and how does this work, and how does that work, and then, so yeah, we went through the whole will, and
Just you and him there at that time?
Maureen's gone, just the two of us.
Bob's not in there
Bob, I never saw Bob, no,
at all?
no,
Okay.
no, didn't see him, but Maureen said that Bob was there, and that Bob's son was there, because they had done the disc thing for the logbook, and yeah, we did that, and then we got into talking about, as I said earlier, the Halifax Olands, because this was the core of somebody back in the 50s did some family research, and they didn't like what they saw,
Okay.
so they made up all these big stories.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you're in the beer business, stories work, right?
Mhm.
And so that was Oland Breweries in Halifax.
Yes.
And so Oland Breweries created this sort of family lore around, things they had to create because they didn't like what they saw.
Okay.
And I think, look back in those days, when our family moved to Canada, we were broke. Okay, we had no money. We were started from scratch. And I think at one point, if you're growing up in a bigger city like Halifax, you start getting sucked into the keeping up with the Joneses, or trying to get ahead, or trying to lead in the community. And so back in those days, if you were still close to British culture, you would
You
trying to bump yourself
represent
up in
that.
the class system, and so they had this big claim that they were descendant of some nobility or something like that, which wasn't true. So we went through all those sort of scenarios and debunked all of them and whatever, and that was it. Then I left and got in the car, and Lisa called me, actually, where the hell are you? And I was going to go, I hurt my knee sailing last weekend, so I was going to go to the drugstore and get some painkillers. I ended up doing it today. Tylenol has a muscle thing. I thought I'd try that.
Mhm.
And went home, and on the way home I stopped at the Renforth Wharf to see if my kids were there, because they do kayaking there,
Mhm.
and they swim after,
Mhm.
but they weren't there. So I went home, and Lisa was sick,
Mhm.
still is, so we went to the drugstore, and we went to Cochrane's, which is a little sort of grocery store market
Yes.
thing, and got some samosas and bananas and a few other things, and went home and had dinner, and we were trying to decide whether we were going to watch a movie or not, and we did watch a movie, but not the whole thing.
Mhm.
And I went to the Irving to get some milk. We have hens, so I put the hens away at dark, 9 o'clock. I did a little bit of work in the garden, because she was doing a vegetable garden, and she started digging down that deep and saying it's all full of rocks. Like, well, you only have to go down that far. She's bringing up the light brown soil,
Yes.
and so I in bed around a little after 11 and read for a bit and went to sleep.
Okay. Just kind of going back. So you got there around
I'd say 5:30. Yeah.
5:30. Marine's the only one there.
Yep.
Nobody else is in there. And what time did you leave? Approximate
6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
So you were there.
Well, I know that I sent. Well, I thought I sent her a text. I ended up sending my sister Lisa a text about 10 after 6, saying, I'm at Dad's. I won't be much longer. And then I know as soon as I got in the car, Lisa called me. Where the hell?
Right.
Because I sent the text to my sister, not my wife.
Okay.
So she didn't know where I was. She knew I was going there. She just didn't know it was going to take me that long.
Right.
So.
In that whole time, it was just basically about this issue with the genealogy and what you had found, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was that, and then the Halifax Oland stuff. And
so
everything.
no business or anything while you were there. Not at all.
No, not at all.
When you were there,
He's not really unless I'm talking about something that he's interested in. There's really no, he loses his attention span, drops off.
Right.
So if I'm over there and he's not engaged, I'll ask him about his boat, or I'll ask him about his last race or his fishing trip or something, because it's not a two-way conversation.
Right.
If he asks you how you're doing, he doesn't want a long answer.
Yeah.
Good, everything's great.
Next question.
Yeah.
And in that time, did anybody call that you remember, or did you pick up the phone and have a conversation? Did anybody come in to the business?
Nobody came in. You hear noise, so because there's people upstairs, and so I don't hear very well. I wear hearing aids, so I don't hear everything. But you hear noise, so I might have heard doors opening and closing, but I don't know.
Did you hear stuff from upstairs? Anything from upstairs?
I think I did.
Okay,
but I don't know.
Do you recall what it was?
I remember hearing a door open, but I don't know if it was upstairs or on the level we were on.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Could it have come from downstairs?
It sounded closer than that. It sounded closer than that, but I don't know. I don't think I would have heard the front door open.
Right.
Maybe the door that's at the top of the stairs, or I don't know, maybe a door. I've never been upstairs, so I don't know, or the other office, but I heard it, and it sounded like a door. It didn't sound like a bang or anything like that. It sounded like a door.
Anything after that?
No.
Footsteps, voices, anything like that?
No, not at all.
So nothing occurred in that time then? Like I say, if your dad got a text, checked it?
Well, let me think of that. He was definitely... Jeez. When Maureen was there, he was checking his emails. Because he was trying to get her to do something about an appointment or something like that. And he was checking his emails. But after that, I don't think he touched his computer at all, but I don't remember. I don't remember. He's always on his phone or always talking on his phone, but I can't imagine why he'd be texting if he had his email open in front of him.
Right.
So I don't really recall.
Okay. Did you have any conversation about what he was going to do that night, or when he was going to leave that night?
No, we didn't talk about anything else. We talked about that, and it was one of those things where the conversation started to die off. She's like, okay,
you know when to go.
You just sort of know when to go, right? You're done, and I knew I had to get home anyways. I knew I was, late. So,
what was the last thing that would have been said between you and your father?
The last specific conversation would have been specifically on that Halifax Olands and their ruining of their wealth and doing these things. As far as the final words, like, okay, great, goodbye, I don't... It might have been me saying, yeah, gotta go, time for me to go, okay, great, whatever.
Didn't say, I'll see you tomorrow, I'll see you. Do you remember anything like that?
No. I don't recall him ever using that phrase anyways.
Okay.
No. I'm trying to think. I think he just goes, yeah, okay, yeah, see ya.
And what was he doing when you left? Was he standing somewhere? Was he sitting?
No, he's sitting down. No, he's sitting down. I think he just looked at me. I mean, he generally, when I leave or when he loses interest, he either focuses on what he's reading or he gets on his computer or on his phone or whatever. So I think he was engaged in what he was reading.
And where was he when you left?
Sitting at his desk.
And that's
the big desk with the 4 screens.
Was, I guess,
Closest to the air conditioning system.
Okay.
Closest to the street.
By the window, or in the middle area?
Well, he has his chair. Like if we were doing it, 4 computer screens would be here, and his sort of panel would be there, and the windows and air conditioning's there.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then Maureen's desk is over that way, and then there's a long table where it's a bunch of stuff on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Bob's office is off that way.
Off by the window.
Yeah.
I think it is. So nothing else then. Did you see anybody on your way out? Anything like that? Which way did you go? Did you leave? I believe there's a couple different ways there.
Yeah, I mean, my car was parked on right on the street, so it's interesting because I was there twice. I first parked in the parking lot where he parks.
Okay.
So when I walked out, I walked that way, and then my car's over here. So I walked over there and got in my car and left.
And where was it? Yours?
Right in front of, right across the street from the office.
In front of the restaurant?
Yeah. Okay. Like whether it's in front of or where the car park is there, somewhere along that stretch there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And again, nothing when you left or text messaging on the way home that he...
Well, I called, Lisa called me to say, come on.
Right.
I'm not feeling well, I need you to come home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Des, I have to ask you this. Did you have any involvement in your father's death?
No.
I ask you that because you were the last person there.
Yeah.
And, it's something that I have to cover.
Yeah. I have no reason to want my father dead, to kill him, no. We've had our things, but no, I wouldn't rob someone of the fun that they're having, and, he's just, no.
Can you think of who would have an interest in that? Who would benefit from that the most?
Because of a grudge or revenge?
For any reason, do you see who would benefit the most from your father's death?
Someone who wanted $20 out of a wallet to buy drugs. This is reaching a vindictive ex-girlfriend, but I don't know that woman, so I don't know. But no, I think he's pissed a lot of people off, but not to that point where someone would want to kill somebody. No one I know, and no one I can think of. Those of us who are closest to him are probably the most annoyed by him. But we have enough distance from him that he doesn't bother us in that kind of a way. No.
Do you see any other reason why someone would do this? Any other reason why? The type of person that would do it?
Someone who's pretty sick, I guess. Someone who, if someone has killed him, which you're implying that that's the case, I can't. There's no one who has lost money by him. There's no one who he has, as far as I know, insulted in any way. There's no one that he has left out. I'm sure there were some of his old sailor buddies that were upset that they weren't included in the new sort of boat and what was going on there, but I mean, that's stuff that everybody in life has to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not to the point to want to harm him. You know, I mean, granted, you know, us kids are much more used to what he says than other people might be, because
Right.
I mean, you grow up with it and you become immune to it, right? Well,
Mhm.
not entirely immune, but you become immune more so than other people might.
Yes.
And you know, he could have said something to somebody and just that was enough, or
Mhm.
said repeatedly things to people and they're just like, I'm not going to put up with this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, who he would have said that to, I have no idea. You know, I'm not close to him in that way to know. I mean, he's in the office with Maureen and Bob, and I mean, those are the most pleasant, easygoing people who quite easily, if they weren't happy there, could have gone somewhere else. I mean, they're both marketable in other ways, so
Mhm.
I don't foresee. And you know, in Bob's case, you know, he even gets fun out of it because he gets to go on these trips. So
Right.
you know, no, I mean, so if somebody who knows him versus somebody who doesn't know him, and I guess that's, if you don't know him, then maybe you think there's some sort of robbery opportunity or whatever. But if you know him, I just can't see. He's never pissed somebody off like that.
Do you have anybody in mind that would come to mind to you as being involved in this?
No. I mean, as I said, the only person that comes to mind is this supposed girlfriend, because she really seems to be a whack job.
Mhm.
Like, they call her the Dragon Lady. You
Mhm.
know, she's this hostile, somebody who you'd think could be that Fatal Attraction type person.
Yes.
But that's just, I don't know the woman, so that's just me saying stuff that I hear,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's true. But you know, because you can't have that kind of reputation, and well, you know, I remember a story. They were all in a race on the boat, and she got invited to come on the boat, and at the end of the race, she left, and all the crew said, "If you're ever on the boat again, we're not coming back."
Is that right?
Yeah, because she's just a bitch.
Well, I guess that
Yeah.
you earn the reputation by acting.
Yeah,
and-
but I mean, just because you're a bitch doesn't mean you. But I don't know. I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody and it doesn't go well, and I don't know if it was going well or not, and I don't know for sure it was a relationship.
Mhm.
But you know, if it's the only thing that comes to mind, there's just nobody else.
The trap is now set. Armed with surveillance footage they haven't yet revealed, the detective asked Dennis to clarify his timeline one more time. Watch closely. In a matter of minutes, Dennis makes a massive error about the clothes he was wearing the time he went to his father's office. It's a single, devastating slip-up that will completely shatter his story and turn the entire case against him.
I just want to go back because some new information's come in, and I just want to go back and clarify a few things with you. Just the times, because of course the times are very important to us, and with surveillance cameras in that area, there's, you know, they're all over the place there, and I want to make sure, you know, the times line up so nothing is off. So I'll just get you to go back. You said that you left work the first time, and what time was that?
5:15.
That was the first time you went down to the office, 5:15?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned you went down twice.
Yeah.
So the first time was 5:15.
Ish. Yeah.
And where did you park the first time?
Right in the parking lot, right where my dad parks his car.
Just
so
off the
that's
street a bit, on the
it's-
right.
Yeah.
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 Okay, and then so 5:15.
About, yeah.
Okay, so you go to the door
Yeah.
and
Went up the stairs and had my bag of stuff, and I forgot my stuff.
mhm.
Well, some of my stuff. So I left and went to go back to the office, and then like, oh, don't need that stuff. So I went back.
You back to the office?
I went to go back to my office,
Okay.
and then gave up. I might have gone, likely would have gone down Princess Street and up King and back in Canterbury.
You drove?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You drove back to your
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, I think I might have been just thinking, well, I'm not going to go,
Mm-hmm.
and then just, no, I'll go. I've got enough here, because what he wanted was the will.
So you went up the first time and spoke to your dad?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't?
No, got to the top of the stairs, didn't have my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so I left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drove back to Brunswick Square?
I don't think I got all the way there. I think I just went to, the bottom of Prince William and King,
Mm-hmm.
and then went up King and back in Canterbury.
So you didn't even go back to work?
No.
Okay. Okay, so then when you came back the second time, what time was that?
Well, I don't know exactly, but I know that Maureen was there for about 10 minutes, so I'm guessing, I think it was around 5:30.
That you get there the second time. Why did you take your car back around instead of walking?
Because I wasn't sure I was going to be going back.
Okay.
I was just probably going to leave,
Okay.
and then she said, no, I got what I wanted here. Because I had a bunch of other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but
What else did you have?
I have a stacks of stuff. I had the stuff from Devin that he wanted, and I have this green book that somebody wrote back in the early 70s that I was going to give him, and that I left that in my office,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the thing that I wanted the most, and I wanted to get some pictures from that I had given him or Maureen 3 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I just, a lot of times I'll go there, and if it's, if Lisa calls me or something, I just keep going home. So
Okay.
I went back, and I went in, and Maureen was there 5 or 10 minutes.
Just gonna go back because the first time when we were speaking, I thought you had mentioned that you went back to the office, but it was locked.
No, I didn't go back to the office. I was going back to the office. I realized I didn't have the pass thing.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm not bothering with this.
Okay. And then the stuff you brought up. I guess we didn't cover that, but did you bring a bag or
A bag, yeah.
A bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, bear with me. I'm just covering it again. I just want to be sure with it. And so the second time is 5:30.
Yeah, around that time.
Okay.
I mean, it would more. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what time, but I would say 5:30. That seems about right.
And again, did you take the bag up with
Yep.
the second time?
Yep.
Okay. And what were you wearing? Because I just want to make sure who's coming in, who's going out. When we look at the surveillance, I can
Mhm.
say, that's Dennis, and that's this guy. That's-
These pants, the shoes, a dress shirt, and a navy blazer.
You were wearing those pants, those shoes?
Those shoes, a dress shirt, not this, a collared dress shirt,
Yeah,
and a navy blazer.
and a navy blazer.
Yeah.
Okay. And what color was everything? I know the pants, obviously, because I'm right here.
Yeah, like the shirt is blue and white striped or checked or whatever. It's a button-down collar shirt.
Okay. Okay, so those are the times. And when you came back out, you came back out the front, you said?
Mhm.
And what time was that?
Well, when I got in the car, it was, I think, 6:30 because Lisa called me. So 6:30-ish.
That's when you would come back out
Yeah.
and get back. And you said the second time you came, when you came around the block, you parked in front of the building, which would have been in front of Tandy's, in between the restaurant and the
Yeah.
Printing Plus
Yeah.
kind of area.
Yeah. So I went out and I walked up toward Princess Street and realized that that's not where I was parked because I was there earlier, and then went back, and I was going to go to the drugstore in Brunswick Square, and then I just went home.
So when you came out, you went left?
When I came out, I went left because I thought my car was, and then I went right, and then I got in my car and left.
You say you were going to go to the drugstore. Did you actually go that way?
I don't think so. No. I
Did you start that way and then say, well, no, I'm not going to go over?
I remember crossing the street. Like I remember being on one side of the street and then crossing to the
So
other.
like on the east side and then the west side of Canterbury?
Well, the side closest to the harbor being the west side,
Yeah.
and then the east side, and then saying, "Forget it, I'm going home."
So you actually got back to your car on the west side of the street and then crossed and then said, I'm just going to go home.
Okay, you're getting me confused on the side. I think I was on the west side
Mm-hmm.
near Princess Street, and then I remember going across. I don't know if there was a bunch of people in the way, I can't remember, and then just getting in my car and leaving.
Okay. And again, when you left, what's the approximate travel time for you to get home?
Usually takes about 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you went straight home?
No, I stopped in Renfort at the wharf.
Okay. And that was at 6-ish, you say?
I would guess it'd be 6:45. It'd take about 15 minutes to get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you do at
Well, I was hoping my kids were there.
Okay.
but-
Are they usually there?
Well, they're, because of summer, they do kayaking where the rowing club is.
Mhm.
And so after the kayaking, they can, because it's lifeguarded down there, they can go just walk along on the other side of the wharf where there's a swimming place.
Mhm.
And I just hope, because it was such a great day yesterday, that they were, hanging out there, but they weren't. So
Did you tell Lisa you were going there before you were coming home?
No.
Did she ask you? Like, hey, where you been?
oh yeah, she was pissed off that I wasn't home right away.
Okay. Did you
Yeah.
tell her I look at Dr. Dad, I stopped at the wharf for the kids?
I just said I was at my dad's office. I didn't say I stopped at the wharf.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when I got home, she was mad.
Were the kids there at home?
No, they're at their mom's. Yeah. So it was her son was there, and her son's girlfriend.
Did you know they were at their mom's?
Did I know my kids were at their
Yeah.
mom's? Oh yeah.
But you went to the wharf to see if they were there?
Yes.
Okay.
I knew that they're a week with their mom.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but they do these activities during the day.
Mhm.
So when I didn't know where they were. I
Right.
just knew they were either at their mom's house or at the
I
wharf
see.
or somewhere in the
I
middle.
see. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you first came home, was Lisa there waiting for you?
She was in the sunroom.
Okay.
But I mean, I went upstairs and got changed, and then I think I went outside looking for her in the garden, and she called me like, "Where the hell are you? I've been waiting for you."
Yeah.
And then she was in the sunroom, all wrapped up, cold, and
Just kind of things are curious to me, but I know if it's me, I'm coming home, my wife's mad, I'm going to go right to her and say, hey, I'm home, just going upstairs. Is there any reason why you switched the sequence of that and didn't say, hey, I'm home to her first and then went up and...
well, I did. I went around the house and I walked in through the living room,
Mhm.
and our house is quite an open concept. So when you walk in, you can actually see every single room.
Mhm.
And so I looked around, saw every room, and went upstairs, assumed she was upstairs,
Ah, okay.
and she wasn't. And so I got changed, and then thought, okay, well, assuming she's not in the house, I went out to the vegetable garden,
I
and
see.
she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So then I'm coming back in the house, and she's like, "Where the hell are you?"
Okay, and that's why I have to clarify, because in my mind I have to get everything straight, and sometimes I go, okay, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, and she was quite angry.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just the other thing I wanted to clarify too is, when we were first talking, and you mentioned, I said, about why we were here and this sort of thing, and you said you mentioned a crackhead or something, maybe doing something like this. Is there any reason why you know?
That's what you hear about on the radio. You hear these taxi drivers getting killed, or you hear, no, I have nothing to go on. It's just you guys. I mean, when we were at the house, at Mom's house,
Mhm.
you guys, you didn't say anything,
Mhm.
And when we got here, the guy who's the boss, the guy with the bald head, he just said, look, this is really serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't take, I mean, we were all very understanding at that point that this wasn't a death of natural causes. I think we knew that at the house anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you just don't have that many police cars around and police officers around just because someone had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not reasonable.
And now, I mean, we just came out in one unmarked car, but when you say police cars and that sort of thing,
At the office.
Well,
You got
okay.
people calling the house.
Oh, they were calling
the house
Yeah.
saying there's cop cars all over the place.
Mhm.
There's cops everywhere. This woman who called my mother saying there's police everywhere.
yeah, just
It wasn't. It just didn't smell good.
mhm.
And then we get here and he's saying, I've been hauled in off vacation for this.
Mhm.
It's like, well, we all sat there and almost started to cry because it's like, you can accept that, if your father has a heart attack or falls and bangs his head, it's unfortunate.
Mhm.
But, when you start understanding, and you said it yourself, I mean, who would do this to your father?
Mhm.
Somebody has done something to my father. You've
Mhm.
told me that.
Mhm.
And I mean, but that's all you'll tell me. You won't tell me anything else. And what happened to him? What did they do to him?
Are you asking me that question? Or
Yes.
Well, again, all I know is that the death did occur. I don't know much more than that because I haven't been there. I've been up here, so for the details, I don't know, and I would share them with you. I would certainly share them with you. But I guess what I'm trying to do is try to get as much information as I can to point us in the right direction. Our other guys do the other stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I understand. They said we weren't going to learn a whole lot today.
Yeah, and I guess what do you think happened? And I asked you that, and I mean, when you said the crackhead, I thought, well, is there a problem with that you knew of? I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, what would make you say that? I guess.
Yeah, it's just because that's what you read about and hear about in the news, that these people seem to rob places, for drug money or electronics, and trying to sell it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you just seem to think it almost seems like these people do this, and they rob some store for $20 and they've got their fix.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's definitely something that pops into your head as a possibility.
Mm-hmm. And just because you mentioned that too, they've been broken into there a couple times in that building. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
No.
And they've got cameras. I'm not sure if that would surprise you or not, that they had cameras set up in there. So I mean, because of that problem too. So
Under the guise of simply clarifying a few details, the detective zeroes in on Dennis's drive home. Instead of taking his usual direct route, Dennis opted for a much longer, unexplained detour immediately after leaving his father's office.
I want to clarify a little bit more, just because there's a part that's a little bit confusing to me, and I want to clarify it. When you came the first time,
Yes.
and then you left.
I'm guessing. Yes.
You went upstairs.
Yes.
And you took some things upstairs the first time.
Yes.
And so just go through that again for me.
Okay. I walked in the building, and I walked up to the top of the stairs, and I was shuffling through my bag, and some of the stuff that I wanted to bring wasn't with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided that I should go back and get that, and then I was thinking at the same time, maybe I'll just go home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I was sort of playing those two things off in my head, and got in the car and came back, and I probably sat in my car for a bit and did some texting or business, and then went back in the building.
So again, so you came out and went into your car,
Yes.
did some texting.
No, I don't know if I did. I don't know if I just took right off. I might have texted or looked at my email. I don't know. I know, and then I left, and then I came back, and
which route did you take?
I would have had to go down Princess, I think,
So you're on Canterbury.
out and down Prince William and up King
And again, what time was that?
and 5:30.
That was at 5:30.
No, be 5:15
Quarter after 5.
ish. You know.
Okay. Again, I'm asking. I want to.
I don't know for sure what
Uh-huh.
time it was. I'm guessing.
What would make you say quarter after 5?
Well, because I think Maureen left around 5:30. I thought it was around 5:30, so it seems reasonable that it would have been before that,
Mhm.
but not too a whole long before that. But, 10 to 20 minutes before that.
Okay. And again, the route is important because
I can't define. I mean, I might have gone. I mean, obviously, I couldn't go that way in Canterbury, so I might have gone down to Duke Street, but I don't think so.
Okay, it's really important that you remember what you did because we're going to verify all this. We haven't yet, but we're going to verify it. There's cameras in the cities, and so we want to make sure
Yeah.
the streets you went on are the streets you
Yeah.
did go on.
That's the one that's logical to me.
Okay, if that's logical, but what one did you take? I mean, it was yesterday, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see any reason why I didn't take that route.
Which one did you take?
That one.
Okay.
But yeah,
Do you know for an absolute certainty you took that one?
but I see no reason why I wouldn't have. Nothing comes to mind why I would not have taken that route. I can't go that way on Canterbury Street.
Right.
So,
But when you left, did you? I mean, the first turn. Did you take the first turn, or did you take the second turn? Because the first one would bring you onto Princess. The second one.
no, I might have. You know what? I might have got confused when I was going along, and I might have turned up Princess Street into the gravel parking lot.
You went up the wrong way. Up Princess.
Yeah, I might have done that because it's such a short little zip up there, right?
Mhm. So you went in the gravel pit,
It's a gravel road, yeah. It's not a gravel.
or a gravel parking lot,
Gravel parking
sort of
lot.
thing. So you remember going up there?
Yeah, because I think I had to either decide whether I was going to go home or go to the office, or whether I was turning around. But yeah, I was up in there. Yeah.
You were up in there. What made you go up?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know if I was thinking just go back to the office and park here, or whether I was thinking to do something on the phone. I don't.
What I mean, did you realize you were on the wrong way street?
Oh, I knew I was on the wrong way.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
stuck out.
I
to
would
you.
have. Well, no, I would have known. I
So
mean,
you-
I know factually that is the wrong way to go.
Okay. Now, why wouldn't you have mentioned that to me the first time? I mean, that's a significant thing.
Well, you asked me
I asked
to
you your
really,
route.
really, 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 really think about this,
Yeah.
and I'm really, 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 really trying to think about it, and so it wasn't significant, I guess, to me. I didn't realize that.
That you went the wrong way the first time,
No,
up the wrong way, up
no,
the wrong
I
street.
didn't realize that my route planning was so significant.
Well, like I said, when I ask you, it's very important the route you take, and you don't recall going up the wrong way.
Okay, so I went. If you're a police officer and somebody goes up a one-way street 10 feet, it's probably a bad thing. But if you're me, it's.
Well, it's significant in the sense that if I'm leaving an office, that's now a crime scene. Going up the wrong way, to me, I would want to make sure my route is going to be I'm going to say, here's where I went.
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
it's going to be clear to me.
yeah, but look, I'm sorry, it's not 100% clear to me.
Okay.
And you said it's just yesterday. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know how I get to work sometimes. I can be, totally zoned out on what's going on. So I'm sorry.
To now go up in the gravel pit, in the gravel driveway parking lot. I would remember that if I did that. It's just strange that you didn't mention that.
I don't think it's strange at all.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't.
If you asked me a couple times and I told you my route, and then I told you I went in the wrong way, and then I went into a gravel parking lot, would it seem odd to you?
No, it's jogging my memory.
Okay.
I don't see that as odd.
But this is very important to me. Like I said, every little detail
and I'm
matters.
trying to be.
So where did you go after the gravel parking lot?
I believe I would have gone down around.
And again, this is very important. Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, I was.
Did you were up in the gravel parking lot?
I went around. So up in the gravel parking lot, and I went down Princess Street and along Prince William, up King, and back on Canterbury.
You went along Prince William?
Down, around, up King, and to Canterbury.
Okay, so you were in the gravel parking lot, came back out.
Yes. No, I'm going the wrong way. I was going the right way.
Yeah. Went down Princess. You sure you went down Princess?
Pretty sure.
Could you have turned left and gone down and then turned down? And again, we'll verify it. I just,
I don't think so. I could have, but I don't think so.
Okay. Again, like I said, the details matter, and since you
don't-
did go up that wrong way, so is it possible you could have gone down further instead of right down Princess?
It's possible, but I don't know why I would have.
Okay. Again, I guess you don't know why you would have gone up the wrong way on Princess either.
Oh, I know why I did that, because
Why?
I was jogging in my memory. I mean, you were asking me earlier,
No, but what would
Was
make
I
you go
going
up there
home?
the first time? If you're going back to your office, why would you turn left?
because remember I was thinking whether I was going to go home
Yeah, but
or go back to my office or stick with what I had.
you've grown up around the city all your life.
No, I grew up in Rossick.
Okay, but you've spent a lot of time in the city.
Yeah.
Would you go all the way through town, turning left on Princess to go home? Or would you go straight down? What would make you turn left?
To go home.
You said you were going to either go home or go back to the office. You couldn't decide.
No. I wasn't going to turn all the way up Princess Street the wrong way.
No, but what made you turn up Princess Street that way?
To go into the parking lot.
Why would you go into the park?
Because I was thinking at the time I don't need to go back to the office. I can just park here and go back to the office because you can't drive back down Canterbury Street. So I had left where I was, and I was it was three choices: go to my office and get stuff, go home, or go back to the office because I had enough stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was just playing around with that notion.
But if you're in that parking lot, that was where your dad's car was.
That's right.
And you would have to turn up like this,
Yeah.
right? And if you're going to go, like I said, why wouldn't you go down there? And
If you knew exactly where you wanted to go, yeah, I guess you would.
but you did. You knew you were either going to go home or back to the office, both of which are this way.
or stay.
But if you were going to stay, why wouldn't you stay?
No, if I'm right here, I can't go back there.
But you can go back around,
Yeah, I can, and
or you
Yeah.
can go straight.
look, I don't.
And that's what I guess I want to know is, did you go straight instead of going down?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is it possible that you did?
I don't know why I would.
And I guess, It's not a matter of, I guess, I don't know why would, but did you? Because I have to know the road.
I don't think I did. No.
You don't think you did?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And again, just the reason why you would take your car out of there instead of walking back to the office and then walking back. Hey, am I going to go home? Am I not? I mean, traffic's heavy there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that to me that I've already explained that I was not sure I was going back to my office, not sure I was going home, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you did have to go. Your initial thing was going back to the office. Your initial thought was
no. My initial thought was three options.
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I going to bother to go in here? Am I just going to go home, or am I going to go back to the office?
Mm-hmm.
So it was sort of, you know, get in the car and try and figure out what to do, I guess.
Did you consider just running back to the office? You know, hey, it's just across the street. I'm going to run back and.
No, I think my first thing was just to go home, and I think it was after that I probably said no. I remember being at the top of the stairs, being disappointed, like, oh, you know, all I've got is this, forget it, type thing. And then I think my initial reaction was to go home. And then when I got in the car, I probably was, or maybe the whole way walking to the car, was deliberating which one to do, which way to go. So, anyways, yeah.
Armed with those inconsistencies, the detective shifts the entire dynamic of the room. Watch as Dennis is formally read his rights, and the heavy realization sets in. He is no longer just helping with an investigation. He is the prime suspect.
Dennis, there's been some inconsistencies in your story, okay? And I just want you to pay attention to me. I'm going to read some things to you, okay? Right now. And this is right to counsel. And it says, before you say anything, it's my duty to inform you that you have the right to retain and instruct legal counsel without delay. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You have the right to telephone the lawyer of your choice. You also have the right to free advice from a legal aid lawyer. If you're later charged with an offense, you may then apply to legal aid for assistance. You have the right to speak to the lawyer in private. If you wish to speak to a lawyer now, you can call a lawyer of your own choice, or you can call duty counsel toll-free for legal advice right now. Do you understand that?
I do.
What do you want to do about your right to contact a lawyer right now?
Given how uncomfortable I'm feeling, yes, I would, sure.
Okay.
To exercise my right.
I would like to exercise my right. And that's your right to a lawyer, as we understand that.
Yes.
Okay. You need not say anything. You have nothing to hope from any promise of favor, nothing to fear from any threat, whether or not you say anything.
Say that again.
You need not say anything. You have nothing to hope from any promise of favor, and nothing to fear from any threat, whether or not you say anything. Anything you do say, maybe you get given as evidence. Do you understand?
I understand the last sentence.
Okay, that all that means is you have nothing to hope from any promise of favor of me promising you anything.
No, yeah.
And nothing to fear from any threat,
Yeah.
whether you say anything or not.
Yeah.
And anything you say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Can I get you to just sign there that you do understand that?
Right here.
Yeah. And this is secondary caution. You must understand that anything said to you previously should not influence you, nor make you feel compelled to say anything at this time. Whatever you felt influenced or compelled to say earlier, you're not now obliged to repeat. Nor are you obliged to say anything further, but whatever you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Just get you to sign that as well. Having said that, you said you'd like to exercise your right to speak to a lawyer. Do you have anybody in mind that you'd like to speak to?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have a good friend who's a lawyer.
Why don't we take care of that right now then?
Okay.
Now the interrogation crosses a highly controversial line. Dennis explicitly exercises his right to an attorney, a request that should bring the interview to a dead stop. Instead, the detectives completely ignore him and press harder. Watch as the tactics shift from standard questioning to relentless psychological pressure, pushing a trapped suspect toward a devastating mental breakdown.
Well, it was an opportunity for you to speak to your lawyer. That's okay. You don't have to tell me what you said. You had an opportunity to speak to him. Okay. So if you just want to have a seat right here again.
Sure.
Okay. Dennis, given our conversation, there's no doubt in my mind that you did this.
Did what?
You had involvement in this death. And I want to know why. Okay? I want to find out the reasons why.
Okay, you just told me in a piece of paper that I should be talking to a lawyer.
Yes.
And, shouldn't say anything, do anything unless I talk to a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've done that, and now you're at me.
I'm just asking you. Okay, we're having a conversation
Okay,
here.
but I think that what the conversation probably should end because
Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay.
And I think that from what I read on there that I shouldn't be saying anything if I
Okay.
don't like what's going on.
Right, but it's your opportunity for us to talk, okay? And to find out reasons why.
Because of your tone and what you just said, I choose not to take advantage of that opportunity.
Okay, but this is an opportunity for you to talk to me about why that offends you. Why do you...
You just accused me of being the cause of death of my father. So don't like that at all.
Okay. Did you?
No.
Did you do it?
No.
Okay.
Look, can we just... You just said to me, Dennis, I think you need a lawyer, so
There's an opportunity to speak to a lawyer. At that point, you did speak to a lawyer. And now I want to have the conversation with you, okay? I want to have the conversation between you and I. And I want to talk about why, okay? Why did this happen?
I don't want to talk about anything because nothing happened.
Something did happen.
Not with me.
Okay. I believe something did happen. I want to find out the reasons why. Okay? And I want you to share that with me, okay?
Why wouldn't you allow me to share that with you, with my lawyer person?
Okay. That's private between you and your lawyer
Okay,
to talk
but-
to. I want to talk to you now, okay?
Okay, but-
Just me and you.
Keep it. Why wouldn't we just wait till my lawyer was here?
Okay. Because this is a conversation between you and I.
Yeah, but we could have that conversation with the lawyer as well.
We could, but that's private between you and your lawyer. And
So
this is-
why don't you allow me the opportunity to have that private discussion with my lawyer?
Okay, that was you speaking to him in the room was your private opportunity to speak to
No,
a lawyer.
that was my asking, and I understood from what you were telling me
Mhm.
that if I wanted to have a lawyer, that I should get a lawyer.
Okay, that was your
So that's what
opportunity
I
to
did.
speak to a lawyer.
So all I did is say, they're telling me I should have a lawyer. Can you come in?
Okay,
So that's all I did.
okay, that was your opportunity. As I read in there, to speak to a lawyer. I asked you what you wish to do. You said you'd like to speak to a lawyer now. You spoke to your lawyer in private.
Okay.
Which you did. Okay.
First off, the lawyer I spoke to was a friend who knows nothing about any of this stuff, and he said he's calling another guy to come in.
Okay.
And
Do you want to talk to me now?
no,
Would you like to talk to me
no,
now?
I would not like to talk to you right now.
Okay.
I would like
What is the reason?
because you're making me feel really uncomfortable,
Okay.
and you've got your mind made up, and I don't think there's anything I can say or do to.
That's not true. It's, if we have a conversation here between you and I and understand what happened, then I'll understand that.
Okay, but I told you nothing has happened. So
Okay.
you said you believe otherwise,
Yes.
and so there's nothing more to discuss on that. And you know, if a lawyer's here and he's suggesting that I talk to you about things or other things, then you know I can. You've just look. You're all over me. I'm down like this.
I'm not all over you, and what I want to do is just talk, okay? I want to talk between you and I.
Yeah, and
discuss that.
I'd rather talk with the lawyer.
Okay.
I think I've made that very clear.
Okay.
Unless I don't have a choice.
No, you have a choice.
Okay,
And that
so-
was the choice.
No, but do I still have a choice?
When you spoke to a lawyer, that was your opportunity to speak
You
to a
know,
lawyer. You can speak to a lawyer certainly after, we're done talking. But right now, it's important that we talk, okay?
So if a lawyer comes in here, this doesn't get interrupted, like,
No. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Again, it's an opportunity for us, at this time, to talk and to find out reasons why. Okay? And I do want to talk about that.
yeah, I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
My lawyer advised me over and over on the phone, don't talk to these
Okay.
people, don't say another
I
word.
understand that.
Okay?
But I want to know the reasons why, and I want to get, to know the reasons why.
I'd like you to back off,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. There are reasons, and there are always reasons for these things, and I want to know what your reason is. Okay.
Do I have to turn and put my hand?
No, you don't.
Okay,
No,
just
you don't.
back off.
Okay. But we can talk between you and I.
No, we
Okay.
can't.
There's no reason why the two of us can't have a conversation.
Yes, there is, because my lawyer told me we can't,
Okay.
so we can't.
I understand that. We
You
can.
don't respect it, though.
That's your
Please
lawyer's
respect it.
advice.
Yes, it is, and
Right.
I have to take his advice.
Okay. But we can talk. You and I.
No.
Okay.
We can't. I was told not to.
We can between the two of us.
No,
it's
we
your
can't.
it's your choice to talk.
I choose not to.
Okay. But listen, we want to get the reasons why, okay, this happened, and we want to go further from there. Dennis, you and I have to talk here and have this conversation, okay? I need to know the reasons why. I want you to share that with me. Dennis, look at me. There's a reason for this. There's always a reason. Okay?
Doing
I
what
understand.
my lawyer told me.
I understand. Listen, I understand the relationship you and your father had wasn't a good one. He was very strained. He was hard on you. You never amounted to what he wanted. That bothered you. I'm sure that resentment carried through your whole life, even to now.
I never said that I didn't. He was very proud of me. I never said that
Okay,
he didn't
said
amount to what.
You guys had a strained relationship. It wasn't a regular father-son relationship. There was always that where you had to be, to a certain level he held you to. If you did something wrong, look at the cake. My God, you went to light some rum on fire, it went out in 30 seconds or less, and he gets mad at you. That's tough. That kind of stuff sticks with you, right? Over the years. And I understand that. I understand it can be hard. And when those things happen over and over again, that builds up. People just don't laugh that off and say, oh, that doesn't bother me. I know it affected you. And I know that would bother me too. But everybody's got a point. I think you had a point. Would you agree with me? It built up to a certain point. We've all got a breaking point. This was yours. How did that make you feel? You know, all the time, family functions in front of everybody, you know, embarrassing you, embarrassing everybody, you know, of these things. Whenever you tried to do something with him, he would belittle you, tell you how to do something. You're a grown man. That would bother me, and I think it bothered you too. Dennis? I know it must have been hard on you. Carrying that all through those years, even now as a man. Could be very, very frustrating. Was this something, you know, that was spontaneous, or was it something planned that you had for years thinking, I'm going to do this, or was it something that just happened because there was a fight? There was something that happened that just happened spontaneously. Dennis, we need to talk here. You and I have to talk to each other, okay? I want you to talk to me. I want you to share that with me.
A new detective steps in to turn up the heat. With Dennis's rights blatantly ignored, the psychological pressure reaches its boiling point. Will these relentless tactics finally break him, or will he hold on to his request?
Hi, Dennis. Dennis, I'm Keith Copeland with the Major Crime Unit. Steve Davidson's partner. I've been watching this interview since it started. I've been involved in this investigation right from the get-go. It's very clear to me that you, Dennis, are in a very bad place. You're in way over your head, and a lot of confusion in your mind as to what's happening, how it got this far. So let me explain to you how it got this far, because it's been very interesting for me to be able to sit back and watch all of this that's going on. And as a police officer, I've 28 years experience, and you get to know a little bit about people in generalities, that is. But you see things that people are saying. You know how people communicate. People communicate in many different ways, as you understand. People communicate verbally, like I am with you here now. But people also communicate non-verbally. Do you know what I mean by that, Dennis? Body language. Sometimes when people communicate, they communicate verbally, they lie. Sometimes when people are lying, they don't remember their lies. And they trip up and they stumble. Because, you know what, people who are good, honest people who don't make a habit of lying find it difficult to maintain a story and remember what they said before because it was a lie. You don't remember lies. Good, honest people don't remember lies because it's a lie. Why would you remember it? You know, you don't want to say it in the first place. An honest person remembers their story clearly from start to finish because it's honest, it's true, it's cohesive, it's the way it happened. So when Steve asked you questions related to what took place, the sequence of events, your story changed. It wasn't the same. You wrote down your story. Do you remember doing that, Dennis, when you wrote your story down? So you wrote down what happened. Well, we do things with those stories. It's called statement analysis. And it's very powerful stuff, what statement analysis tells us. Certain weights that people put on certain things in their statements, and weight that should be in one place isn't there, and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in police investigations. But what really happens is what we're doing right now, communicating. You're communicating to me whether you say anything to me or not. And I'm hoping that as time goes on, you will open up and communicate, because there's absolutely no doubt in my mind, Dennis, But you're not a bad person. You're just in a very, very bad situation. And bad things happen to good people. You have to know that we've spoken to many, many people throughout the course of this investigation, although it's a very short period of time. Most of what you see on television is false. You know, your assertion that you should have your lawyer present during questioning and all that sort of stuff is false. It's American TV. Television isn't real, and especially American television.
Why would my lawyer tell me to sit tight and not say anything until he shows up? I have to believe that that's true.
Well, the advice that your lawyer gives you to say whatever he tells you to say is just advice between him and you. And he might hope that he could come here and expect to speak with you of respectability and truth. But Dennis, I've been doing this for a long time. And sitting out there watching this camera, watching that camera, watching your reactions, the way you talk, your body language and your posture and the things you say, they tell me, as a seasoned investigator, a whole lot of things. And so you add things to your story, because Steve is saying, well, what about this? What about that? Do you remember this? So how am I so sure, Dennis, that your story is not true? Well, the inconsistencies include the fact that you show up there and then decide to leave because you want to go back to your office and get something. Well, your office is a stone's throw from your father's office. Did you not throw a stone from there? Pretty darn close, that's for sure. A good pitcher could, that's for sure. We make no bones about that. You're just going back to the office to pick up something that is very important to you, your genealogy, and you want to show it to the old man. So you're going to go back to the office, oh gee, I forgot something. I'm going to have a piss, I'm going to go have a whiz, then I'm going to go back to the office, pick that up. But you tell us that instead of walking back, you get in your car and drive back to the office. And along that route, you're thinking to yourself, well, am I going to go back or am I not? I don't know if I am or not. Not quite sure. But here's the problem for you, Dennis. That story can easily be disproved. Because you know, in this day and age of technology, there are surveillance cameras everywhere you look. And even if you look, you can't see them all. So, surveillance cameras on traffic lights, you've heard of red light traffic cameras? They're everywhere. So you told us that you've driven into a dead-end parking lot, up a dead-end street, up a one-way street the wrong way, all that sort of stuff. Well, Dennis, you have to know that we can verify that through surveillance cameras at corner stores, at red light cameras, at Brunswick Square. Because we know the time of day that you say you did this. We know the car that you're driving. It's so easy to prove that that part, a very key part of your story, is not true. That's the fatal flaw. So the question is, why did this happen? Not did it happen, we know that. The question is why. And Dennis, we can disprove what you've already told us. And where does that leave you once you don't have that? Once you have the lie that you've told us, what after that? The only thing left after the lie, Dennis, for an honest person who made an honest mistake, is the truth. And the truth is, your father was a mean son of a bitch. He controlled every penny that walked through that house. He disrespected your mother, didn't give her money, argued with her about how much she spent on groceries, made you pay your own way to go away with him. Oh, that's business, son. That's the way business people do it. You earn your own way or you don't go. Isn't that right? But yet he went wherever the hell he wanted. Yeah, I'll be gone. I'll be back, maybe, sometime, whenever. It's hard, Dennis. It is hard and it's brutal, but it happened. And now where do we go from here? How do we resolve this? This is your time, Dennis. Your lie has been exposed. Now we need to decide. Is this a planned thing? No, you didn't plan this, Dennis. Because if you'd have planned this a much better way than you did. You would have had a better plan than this. Because the truth is, Dennis, you didn't have a plan. Did you just go there and get into an argument with him about money? Because you know what? Everything you've told me, Dennis, is about money. And if I grew up in your circumstances, with money all around you, at this stage of my life, I would expect to be sharing in some of that. Not battling with that son of a bitch every single day and having him control every aspect of my life because he wouldn't give up any of his goddamn money. You didn't plan this, Dennis. He brought this on. Pushed you, squeezed you, rubbed your face in the fact that he controls it all. Disrespected you. Disrespected your mother. Yeah, I've got this one, this little sweetie. And I'm taking her away. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Where's my $1,600, Dennis? You owe me $1,600 because I bailed you out. Jacqueline doesn't work much because she has lupus. Does he give Jacqueline a break? Lupus is a nasty disease. Nasty. Did he cut her a break, Dennis? No, he didn't. You told us that. Ruthless businessman. Nobody in your family. Nobody in your family. And I've watched some of the other interviews. I've heard the summaries from the other officers. I don't see any remorse. The old man's gone. The tyranny is over. Do you want some water, coffee, or anything?
Water would be nice.
Yeah? Nothing else? You sure?
No.
Okay, let me get you some water. But you want more? Say so, I'll get you more. Dennis, this is a horrible, difficult situation. And Steve and myself have tried to treat you well. Have we treated you okay? I know it's difficult to answer that question, but...
Yes, but my lawyer told me that I should no longer speak or don't speak until he gets there or whatever. So I have to trust that that advice was the right thing to do.
Okay. You've received a lot of advice over the years from all kinds of people. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying your lawyer's advice is right or wrong. However, this is about what your heart tells you right now, Dennis. This is about, your lawyer doesn't know, and I'm not going to spend too much time here, okay, on this lawyer stuff, but your lawyer does not know what happened. You and I both know what happened. Perhaps you told your lawyer exactly what happened. I don't know, and I don't want to know, because that's a completely private conversation. But this is about what Dennis knows in his heart needs to happen. You're a good Catholic person.
What I know in my heart is that I was told that I should call somebody, so I did.
Yep, that's right. And you've exercised your rights to a lawyer, and we've given you that opportunity.
That person
yep.
who I called said, just, don't talk anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, that's what my heart tells me, my head tells me to respect that is the right thing to do.
Okay. Dennis, is Lisa in on this? Is your wife in on this? Is this part of the plan? Are you being controlled by your wife about this? You have to know that we will look at every single possibility. If you have nothing further to say, if you are not in a position to say, you know, what you think, what you know, what your heart tells you to do, we will look at everything. And there's so many different angles here. We know you're the instrument, but why? You're the mechanism. Why? And is somebody else behind this? But again, it comes back to, Dennis, was this a plan? Or was it a spur of the moment crime of passion, if you will? Because passion doesn't have to be between lovers. I think you'll agree that there's passion in families. You can have a passionate argument with your brother, sister, father, mother. They're passionate arguments, especially where money is involved. Sometimes passion causes us to say and do things that we instantly regret later. Is that a fair assumption? I think it is a fair assumption, Dennis. Your family knows the situation that you were in right at this point in time. And you showed your concern for their family by saying to me, just shortly after I come into the interview, can you tell my family to go home? They don't have to hang around here. Family. Concern. So, let's play a guessing game, Dennis. Who's the one member of your family still here?
My wife.
No. She's not really family. She's not really family. She's married to family. Your mother is still here. So, she is still here, Dennis. Your long-suffering mother. How did you get that scratch on your left arm? Was there a struggle last night? Just got a little bit of abrasion down there. Did that happen during a struggle? Is that what happened?
Probably just did that now.
No, I noticed it quite a while ago. I'm looking for something for you to say what happened. That it wasn't cold-blooded. That your wife's not involved. That your mother's not still here, hoping that she doesn't get brought in here next. I mean, we've already spoken to her, but why is she back? Is she back for you? To give you support? Or is she back because she's expecting that she should come in and say that she put you up to this? That she had a part in this? Mothers can be very controlling too, even if they're on the outside. I don't know, Dennis. All I know is that she's sitting out there. And that we still don't know what motivated you. I'm guessing she wants answers too. But she's here. And I'm not, for any, please don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying your family deserted you and they all went home. My God, they had to. Kids, dogs, supper, medication, pick any one of them. But the overwhelming fact is, Dennis is going to have to deal with this. And you will have to deal with this, Dennis. And And it's your choice on how to deal with this. It really is your choice. And I have to say, you're not dealing effectively with it.
I'm not what?
Not dealing effectively with it.
Oh, but that's a different
Mindset?
mindset than
Yeah.
what the lawyer said. That dealing effectively with this would be to wait till he got here and just wait.
How long do you think you can wait? Oh, you do know, Dennis. You already know. The echoes are still ringing in this room. And once we go beyond this room, the echoes are still ringing. And we cannot stop that. Your lawyer can't stop that. The church can't stop it. You can silence the bell to some degree because you know the real truth. Truth I've offered to you in a bunch of different scenarios amount to not much more than a fishing trip at this stage of this investigation. Isn't that true? I know certain things. I know that you drove there. So you say, I know what you've told us. I know that what you told us is untrue. It's bogus. And it doesn't stand up to the light of day. It doesn't stand up to a midnight light. And you know that. Where do you go from here, Dennis? And I've asked you this before. What is your expectation of what can happen for you from now on? But Dennis, you can't tell me that in every situation of your life, you've taken a piece of advice from somebody who, you, by your own admission, is, anyway, you can't say that you followed every single bit of advice that you've ever been
when
given.
you're being accused of something so big.
Oh, it's big. Oh, it's big, Dennis. I'm glad you appreciate that much, if nothing else.
Yeah.
But the point of fact is, Dennis, because it is so big, you just can't walk away from it. And in this early stage of the investigation, at this early time, when you're the person that's in the spotlight, and you are, without a doubt, the person that's responsible for your father's death, you're being given options, you're being given scenarios, if you will, of what could have happened. I mean, I guess maybe what the problem is I haven't hit on anything that really did happen. And so, I don't know. But you know what? The investigation will go where the investigation goes. And it'll prove what it proves. And I mean, it's going to go a whole bunch more different directions because you, the only person who has direct knowledge at this time, hasn't provided the missing pieces.
And if I did anything wrong, the lawyer will likely tell me to fess up. If I didn't do anything wrong,
I have no idea what a lawyer would say.
Oh, come on.
Okay? All I'm dealing with is you and me. I don't deal with lawyers. Okay? I deal with you and me.
You and I are done.
That's unfortunate. Because it's not over.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if you know that. I think maybe you think you can just pretend it's a bad dream and walk away from it.
No.
There is no denials here, Dennis, anymore. Not that there was any denials in the first place. And that's a telling situation all by itself. But I guess, you're right, because when you say, you and I are done, well, after so long talking, the argument could be made that, hey, he'd say anything to get out of that room by this point.
The argument what?
The argument could be made that, hey, he'd say anything to get out of this room at this point. I just need to talk to my partner for a couple of minutes. I'll be back. Do you want more water or anything? Dennis, I just want to look you square in the eye and give you this opportunity to deal with this right here now, you and I. I know you've had plenty of opportunity to sit here and think about this and to think about where it's going to go. And I hope you fully understand that you're making decisions here that can not be changed, in that this opportunity is growing wings, and it will never be presented again for you at this stage, this early stage in the investigation, to say, whoa, please let's talk. Please listen to my side of the story. Please try and understand how and why this situation developed. This is your opportunity, Dennis. Will you take advantage of that opportunity? Will you tell me what happened? It's a yes or no.
No.
We're done.
When detectives asked Dennis what he had been wearing the evening before, he told them a navy blazer. It was either a devastating lie or a fatal mistake. Surveillance cameras had already captured Dennis in that heavy brown sports jacket. When police finally located it, forensic testing revealed 3 microscopic bloodstains, entirely invisible to the naked eye. DNA confirmed they belonged to his father. To make matters worse, his wife had taken that exact jacket to the dry cleaners the morning after the murder. That single slip-up about his clothing destroyed his life. In 2015, a jury convicted Dennis of second-degree murder. But 10 months later, the conviction unraveled. An appeals court ruled the jury had not been properly instructed that his statement about the jacket could have been an honest memory lapse rather than a calculated lie. In a 2019 retrial, a judge found reasonable doubt. Dennis Oland walked free. Today, Richard Oland's mysterious murder remains officially unsolved. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think justice was ever really possible in this case? Like this video and subscribe. Stay safe. See you on the next one.